My name is Dan Guthrie, and my given takeover commission at Arts University of Plymouth is called IC3 GL5. My commission sits alongside Huma Mulji's work in the gallery. I'm taking over the adjacent Plymouth Arts Cinema. Both of our works sort of look at statues in different ways. Mine is about an object in my hometown of Stroud called the Black Boy Clock, and it's about responding to the media attention that came alongside it and that focused on me partly as a result of me being part of a council-led review panel. So in June 2021, Stroud District Council launched this consultation asking for, amongst other things, people's opinions of an object called the Black Boy Clock, which was made in the transatlantic slave trade in 1774 and is still on display today. I have quite a unique relationship to the clock because it's on the same street as my old primary school. I walked past it on the way there, I walked past it on the way to secondary school, and I still walk past it today. In the end, the consultation got about 1,600 responses, which is quite a lot, and also gathered national attention from media outlets such as The Guardian, the BBC, the Daily Mail. Everyone was sort of obsessed with it for about a weekend, but obviously that had quite a long-term effect. April 2022, me and my fellow review panel members presented our recommendations to the council, one of which is to remove the clock and take it to the museum. This was voted through by the council at the end of April, so the ball's sort of in their court now. I think also with these sort of consultations, it's very hard to predict how they'll go. This one certainly got a lot of media attention. I sort of found myself at the center of this whirlpool of everything that was quite consuming in a way. I think these works that I've made are sort of part of me figuring it all out in retrospect. So the installation comprises of several different elements. There's a 2-channel video and soundscape. There's a 3D rendering. There's a table of documents, and there's also an LED sign that all sort of come together to form this one body of work. In the space forming sort of, well, I guess someone called it an altarpiece, but I guess sort of on the table, we have all these documents sort of relating to the research I've done about the clock. There's a sort of index of every article written from, the 1800s to the present day. There's copies of council reports. There's this document that has all of the responses to one of the council questions, which was, what do you think should happen to the clock? Yeah, 1,600 responses, about 99 pages. It's a bit overwhelming, but sort of intentionally on purpose. Core of the work is this installation called Automatic Exercises, which is these 2 videos. One is a short clip of the clock in situ in the statue, and the other is footage of me aged 4, sort of mirroring the pose of the statue. They're quite short and they're looping because the sort of original quote for Automatic Exercises is about this desire that the clock will keep working forevermore, and I sort of wanted to draw inspiration from that, but also think about the sort of automatic nature of structures that perpetuate things like this clock being on display. And there's also a soundscape that goes alongside it, which encompasses bells, birdsong, and audio of me. It's quite sort of uncomfortable, but also hypnotic. I quite want people to sort of wallow in the uncomfortableness, I think. Originally, the plan was to stage this installation in Stroud before it came to Plymouth, but because of the sort of rising pressures of the far right And also because the building I wanted to use got turned into an estate agent, that didn't come to pass. So what I've done instead is recreate the space I wanted to use digitally in Blender and stage it there. So in the entrance to the building, there's a scrolling LED sign, and it's a copy of one of the comments from a Daily Mail article. It's Dan Guthrie, artist, wants to see his name up in lights. So obviously I put the comment up in lights. Just because I spent so long going through all these comment sections, and I wanted to find a way to respond to the general tone, but also sort of have fun with it. I think, yeah, again, on the news, everyone expects you to be very serious and composed, and this was me just having a laugh. Yeah, I think a lot of my work sort of stems from growing up in a rural area, partly, you know, as a person of colour in quite a white-dominated landscape, but also I think I embrace a lot of the slowness that comes with that as well. I think even if I move, or, you know, there'll still be a part of me that's very still in Stroud, accustomed to Stroud, yeah. I think this Given Takeover commission has been really useful for me, because in the past I've worked mainly in sort of single screen setups, but for the first time I'm bringing objects into a space, and even though we are in a cinema, I'm sort of thinking outside of the traditional conventions of the cinema, and sort of see a different side to the statue culture war debate, one that isn't driven by buzzwords or Facebook comments.